Jasmy, wow, it is nearly 40% up in the past 24 hours. And don't worry, guys, we've got you covered. We're going to be recapping on the price prediction we gave. We're going to be going from the bigger time frames, looking on a weekly time frame and identifying what phase it's in and what that means is to come for this token. Then we're going to be looking at a technical pattern that also confirms what we're looking at in regards to phase analysis, being that inverse head and shoulders. Remember, we've got a 70 cents plus price prediction on the back end of that. And then we're going to be going right the way down to the smaller time frames. Jasmy is about to break out of a bull flag, and we're going to be using that to predict where it's now going to go. It's on the cusp of breaking out of it. It's currently at the sort of capping resistance line of the bull flag, but it will push above and beyond it, in my opinion. And the bull flag target gives us confluence to the inverse head and shoulders target that gives us confluence in regards to what phase this coin is in. This is absolutely a video not to miss, ladies and gentlemen. And very quickly, out of the top 100 cryptocurrencies, Jasmy is first in regards to 24-hour gains. It's not doing too badly at all over the past 7 days. And even in the past hour, it's starting to ignite. And this is going to accelerate. And this ultimately feeds into the broader journey that Jasmy is now on. So let's kick things off with the price chart. And we said we were going to start on the big time frames. This is a weekly chart. And I'm going to take all our draws off and just look at it from a phase analysis point of view. Now, Jasmy has gone through this period right here of accumulation. And since then, it broke out on momentous volume. Momentous being the right word. This shows commitment behind the move. And Jasmy is now in what we would identify as phase 2, which is an uptrend. And the beautiful thing about Jasmy is not only do we have phase analysis on our side, we also have a concession now of technical patterns seeing that phase 2 come to fruition, taking place. This is the beautiful thing about being a technical analyst. And what we do is stack probabilities on our side. So we understand how markets move in that kind of big overview of phase analysis. You guys will be bored of me talking about it. But if you can understand how markets move, understand the unique features and the phases a market is in and what to expect on the back end of that, you can spot when something is being accumulated. There are volume profiles that go with this. In an accumulative range, you'll see volume on the upward move, showing you who's in control, and it will reduce on the downside. If you're in a distributed range, which is what we look at as phase 3, you'll see volume on the downside, not the upside, vice versa. So since it's phase 1 base, it actually broke its range target and made its range target that we gave you guys at 2 cents. Then it saw a little bit of consolidation in and around there, which you'd expect. Set up a small continuation pattern, which target was met. And that continuation pattern led you into what we're now looking at as a right armpit in a neckline interaction for a broader inverse head and shoulders. Some of you might be going all in, none of this is making any sense to me. We're going to show you 3 examples that we've previously shown that we actually called here on the channel of charts that did similarly or set up similarly to what Jasmy is today and actually went on and made their targets, one of which is very short of it, which of course is Amazon, but it will get there eventually, and then we'll get down to the smaller time frame. So since Jasmy sort of embarked on this phase 2 journey, it set up this right shoulder. This right shoulder is just slightly smaller than your left shoulder, which is a great sign. And ultimately, it had another attempt at taking the neckline. Unfortunately, the weight of the cryptocurrency space, because Bitcoin is still that tide that rises and sinks all ships, unfortunately, its dominance will reduce over time. And I do think we are in a downward trajectory for Bitcoin dominance. But the weight of the space dragged it down. However, do not fear, Allincrypto is here. This has actually set us up with a bull flag that is ultimately going to give us confluence in regards to the fact you're in a phase 2, the fact this inverse head and shoulders target is taking us to 71 cents, which is new all-time high in price discovery. And then we'll look at the bull flag target. But before I do that, I want to show you examples of charts that we predicted here on Allincrypto. I have a group of people that can attest to this, that essentially set up as Jasmy is doing today and actually went on to make their targets. Of course, the first one we all know about, it's been in the news based on what took place on Monday, is Nvidia. So Nvidia's been a great chart for us. It had an inverse head and shoulders here, and then it had a broader inverse head and shoulders here. You can see this is your right shoulder, or your left shoulder, sorry, your head, and then you had a small interaction here with the neckline before pushing through. And Jasmy is on that same journey today, ladies and gentlemen. Let's look at how things played out for Nvidia. Remember, we predicted this target, and let's take a look at what happened. You can see it took a little bit of time. We almost came back for the retest of the neckline. We set up a little bit of a continuation structure in the form of flag, and then we ultimately sprung into the inverse head and shoulders target that we had set out. And we actually went above and beyond it. So could Jasmy do a similar thing? Well, there's potential for it to do so, but this is the route that Jasmy is on. It currently sits today at 3 cents. So a $71 price prediction, certainly in a raging bull market, I don't think it's too out of the realms of possibilities. Don't take this to the bank, guys. It's not financial advice, just my own opinion. It's around about 20x from where it currently is today. Let's look at another example in the form of VanEck Semiconductors. Let's bring the chart up. Let's get a little bit more retail. Ignore the draws, guys. But we were looking at VanEck Semiconductors all the way down here. Nice little right shoulder. You ran the sort of neckline, then you pulled back into it. Jasmy did a real similar thing. Ran it, pulled back into it. This is a bull flag that we'll look at in just a second. And let's look at how things played out in regards to a target being made and price discovery being reached, just like NVIDIA. And we'll relate this to Jasmy. Now, this was a lot faster. You can see you interacted in and around all-time highs. Very common that you did do this. We looked at this for Bitcoin, for example. This is how we knew Bitcoin was going to push above and beyond into price discovery because it set up that bull flag. Of course, Trump won and sent the space. But we can see here with the likes of VanEck Semiconductors, it went on to make its target and really extend in phase 2 and, of course, complete the exact same pattern that we are looking at for Jasmy today. Let's show you another example before we dive down to the smaller time frames, and that is, of course, Amazon. Now, Amazon was a recent call made by us here on the channel. I'm sure many of you are well aware of it. Left shoulder, head, nice right shoulder. You run into it, and then let's take a look what happens. And we're not quite at target yet, but we are exceptionally close. Remember, we made this call when Amazon was $120. Now, you might say, okay, these multiples aren't quite what the likes of Jasmy is offering. However, this is crypto, guys. The stock market, it's far more of a sluggish kind of oil tanker-esque market. It takes a lot longer to sort of turn and to move, and due to the law of sort of small numbers, doesn't offer quite as big a return, but it offers a good return all the same. So this has still got to make its target, but it's very close. And of course, this is where Jasmy is today, ladies and gentlemen. So we've done two things thus far that both give us confidence to the fact that Jasmy, I say fact, to the probabilities that Jasmy is going to continue to the upside. We've looked at Jasmy through phase analysis. We've given these price predictions previously and what we expect, and it's been followed today. We've also looked at a inverse head and shoulders, which is a technical pattern that gives us that target of 71 cents. And now, if we dive down to the smaller time frames, I believe Jasmy is essentially just setting up in a bull flag S structure in which it's currently met its resistance. So actually, I would say it's probably just taken it. And ultimately, this bull flag is going to push us over the neckline. I'll just make sure we're on log here. And we'll show you that right now. So this is your bull flag pole. This is, of course, your bull flag. And if we extend this bull flag, let's get rid of that. We don't need to identify what that is. It's not really a trend line in regards to how we're looking at it. But if we, sorry guys, if we extend this bull flag to the low of the actual flag, you're potentially looking at a more immediate target that Jasmy might now be about to embark on towards your sort of 8 cents range. Now that gives us further confluence, sort of zooming out a little bit, in regards to the broader direction that we believe Jasmy is on, based on phase analysis, and of course, the inverse head and shoulders pattern that we have. So what we're potentially looking at for Jasmy today, or it's not going to happen today, but in the shorter term is a run to that the 8 cents range. You might get a bit of an interaction. You might even want to come and retest the neckline once more before we then embark on a broader journey. And that very much aligns, in my opinion, with where the space currently is. And I want to show you that. I'm going to go over to my watch list. I'm going to pull up the total 2. We're not going to look at total 1 because, of course, or the total, because, of course, that has Bitcoin largely wrapped up in it. But if we look at, for example, the total 2, which represents everything in the cryptocurrency space, excluding Bitcoin, is on the cusp of a monumental breakout into price discovery and continuation to the upside, which, of course, we have technical targets for. And we've done a hell of a lot of work on this. And, of course, Jasmy is very much going to be a part of that. And given its performance thus far, it's likely going to continue to do very well. So when it walks, talks, and quacks like a duck, ladies and gentlemen, we call it a duck. We've got phase analysis on our side. We're in a phase 2. We expect continuation until there's a reason to expect otherwise, like a trend breakdown. We've also got an inverse head and shoulders that takes you to 71 cents, which is our price prediction. Is it the all-time highest price prediction for Jasmy this cycle? Who knows? It's just what we have technical merit for. And then, of course, on the shorter time frames, we're looking at a bull flag that you're on the cusp of breaking out of. You may have already broken out of it, depending on where you want to draw your sort of trend line. That is ultimately going to take you to that 80 cents range. And then from there, it's just under a 10x to get to 71 cents. That's it from me, guys. I'm going to love and leave you all. Thanks a lot for watching, as always. And I will see you all in the next one.